Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a great subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Our subject for today is selling and worrying. What did he say? I said selling and worrying. What has that got to do with sales? Let me tell you what it's got to do with sales. It's got a tremendous amount to do with sales. You know, there are some people they call worry warts, and I've been one. I ain't gonna lie. I told you my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the warts and all when it comes to selling. And I'm gonna tell you what, one of the things that I've had a problem with in my life, and I don't know if you have, is worry. I worry about, hey, can I pay my bills? I've worried in the past about, hey, how am I going to take care of my child by myself? I worry about how I'm going to get fed. I'm going to worry about commission. I worry. And you're probably saying, who cares? Well, let me tell you why you should care. Because, see, there's a lot of salespeople out there just like me, give you a little fist bump to tell you we're important and we matter, that sometimes we run into this thing called worrying. It can become a very bad habit, and it can become very detrimental to your selling career. And worrying means a lot of times that you don't have faith. Now, that may be like, what, faith? I don't even go to church. Well, I do, and I have faith, but another type of faith is believing in yourself. See, a lot of times we get worried because, see, our self-esteem may not be where it needs to be. We're brand new in selling, or we're older in selling. We're selling a new product. We're working for a different company, and we worry. See, what happens when you start worrying is it takes you off your game. It makes you feel a little bit less than, and it also makes you do some things that you normally wouldn't do. Sometimes it's risking. You know, selling is risk anyway, so if you're going to make any money, you got to risk. The more you risk, the more money you're going to make. But by worrying about things, it can't do anything but make it worse. See, I've been guilty of this, and I told you my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I'll tell you all those things that people just gloss over when it comes to life and in sales, you know. And in this regard, I've seen some really great people I thought would be awesome sales people that they worried themselves right out of a job. They worried themselves out of having that next opportunity because they didn't see the big picture. Now, in selling, it's ebb and flow, ups and downs. It's a numbers game. And a lot of time, worry can take us, like I said, off our game, and it can make us, you know, do some things that we really wouldn't do. See, a lot of times people have this thing they call salesman's breath. Salesman's breath, it comes about because of a lack of belief in yourself, and it's called worry. Worry is a terrible thing. And I still, you know, to this day, I have my moments of unclarity, and I call it unclarity because it ain't clear. When you're worrying, a lot of times there ain't nothing you can do about it. And see, God is so awesome, He gives us another day so that way we can stop worrying about the day before. And like my mom always told me, she said, Gary, those things that you are worrying about now, a month, 6 months from now, a year, won't even be in your mind, and that worry would have been for naught. So what I'm sharing with you, selling and worrying, it's really for naught. Now, I ain't saying you shouldn't worry about things that are important now. So you got to worry about your children, your significant others. You got to worry about paying your bills. But see, the key to success in this regard is to plan. If you have a good plan and you set goals and you save for rainy days, you have what they call less worrying. Now, worrying can, like I said, debilitate you. It can make and take you right out. There are some people that kill themselves because they're worried about things all the time. Some people worry about the most craziest things. And the reason why I know this is because I've been one. I've done that, and I've written some of them nasty checks about worrying. Worrying has taken me to a different level, too. It's changed my philosophy. I worried about, hey, is this a product for me? And if you're not making any money when it comes to a lot of different selling opportunities, you worry about, well, should I stick and stay in selling, or should I go on and make a 9-to-5 regular job? Well, a lot of times people do take that and they worried themselves right out of a career. Selling is a lifestyle. It's a career. We make more money than anybody probably in the world because we're entrepreneurs, we're business owners, we're salespeople. Because without salespeople, the world would not go around. We just got to have salespeople. And sometimes we worry about what other people think about us. You know, let me tell you something. In reality, it really doesn't matter what other people think about you. Now, if you're doing wrong, that's a whole lot of different things. Stop. Don't do it. It ain't your mama, ain't your daddy. I ain't trying to preach at you. I'm trying to teach at you. If you're worried about what other people think about you, a lot of times that's because of our lack of self-esteem. When I was a young kid, we didn't have a lot of money. We was kind of poor, and my parents, they did the best that they could. We had little pants, and we had hardly what they call good shoes, And when I was a kid, I had this thought about myself as less than, and I always worried. Now, as I got a little bit older, I started saying, you know what? It really doesn't matter. When you're in high school or in college, you got cliques and people worrying about you, worrying about how I look, the way I act, the way I look to other people, even in churches and stuff like that. And in life, we still worry about what other people think about us. In reality, it really doesn't matter. What matters is to thine own self be true. We worry about ourselves. Now, I'm sweating here in Florida, and I am right now with the air conditioner turned down so you can hear me, and I'm not worried about it. So that's why I'm sharing this with you, because, see, you're important, and I want you to know that, hey, you're not the only one who worries. People worry all the time about the silliest things. I know, I'm guilty. Golly, I told you I'd tell on myself, because I ain't going to lie. I'm a real salesperson. In the past, I've worried about how much money I was going to make. Now I just go ahead and just keep working. It's a numbers game. Because if you worry yourself, you got to have a little bit of worry. So what I mean by that is you got to worry, hey, what do I have to do? I got to do this particular job. I got to set this particular goal. I've got to set this little carrot and stick in front of me. What is something that keeps me going? And see, not actually worrying, but processing it and thinking, well, what can I do? And see, a lot of times we can worry ourselves to death. A lot of people, they want to do selling, but they're afraid, they're worried they have to be on commission. So they find themselves not becoming a salesperson when they could have been really, really good at it. And selling's really, really cool. But see, you have to keep going. The more people that we help, the better and more opportunities that we get a chance to make more money. Now, I ain't saying you ain't never going to worry. Everybody has a little bit of worry, because see, that little thing inside of us tells us, hey, man, we need to do the right next thing. We need to pay them bills. We need to show up every day, and you got to do the right things. And then worry on itself, if you're worrying about how am I going to pay for this, how I'm going to pay for that, budgeting. Okay, how am I going to do what I need to do? Study. If you want to be successful in life, the best way to be successful in life is to look at those people who've already been there and emulate them. Now, they probably went through a lot of situations where they worried about failure too. But see, if you dwell into it and you delve into it and you think about, worry and that you can't be successful, you won't be. You got to have this kind of mindset when you're in sales that I can do anything I put my mind to. The reason being is because if you put your back into it, you put your mind into it, and you tell yourself, hey, I can be successful, and you look for those avenues and ways to become successful, you will be. But worrying about failure, it happens. People fail every day, and it's not a bad thing to fail, guys. I'm just telling you. If you're worrying about failure, it's like, I got to take this test here shortly in the future. And it's a really intense test because I've been studying this particular program, and this job opportunity is really, really awesome. It can make me a tremendous amount of money. But see, I started worrying. So that's why I did this video. I started worrying about failure and not succeeding. But see, here's the key. Even if I don't pass it this time, I've already paid for the money, and I can always go and keep studying. In 30 days, I get to take the test over again. And the worry behind that is that gives me more time to study. But if I worry about it and say I can't do it or I won't be able to do it, I won't. But I'm not going to let just life in general beat me down. People commit suicide over these kind of things, folks. And I'm telling you, if you're a worry wart, because it's just not a healthy way to be. Matter of fact, it weakens your immune system. It makes you unhealthy. That's why I like to go to the gun place and work out in the gym and stuff like that, because sometimes life and stress can just be too much and we worry a lot. So by going to the gym and maybe taking a walk or maybe just doing some things that you really enjoy doing will take you back to a different place and help you to stop worrying. Now, a lot of times people worry at nighttime before they go to bed. One of the things you should do is pray. If you believe in God, I believe in Jesus. That's who I believe. You can believe in whoever you want to believe. But you got to remember that, if you're worried about things, talk to people. Talk to your significant other. Share these feelings. If you're worrying about failure in your job, talk to your supervisors, your managers, the owners of your business. Because, see, here's the thing. If you don't share that, they don't know what's going on with you, and they're just thinking maybe you're not doing your best because you don't know what you're doing. So they let you go, or you get fired. So now you got to worry about, how do I get another job? See, there are people that are our mentors. Those are supervisors. They have a vested interest in us. So when you start worrying about things, you need to say, well, how can I get some help? Who can help me? And don't let your pride get in the way. Because, see, a lot of times we don't ask for help because we're afraid people will look down on us and we'll look weak. Well, we look so weak, we lose our job and we can't sell anything. So we just keep worrying and worrying. And worrying will make you very, very sick, not only physically, but mentally. And I'm sharing this with you because I've seen some great people in my life that worried to death. They just worried themselves to death. They never saw themselves as being successful. They never saw themselves as being number one because they were worried about trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to be, mediocre. But everybody wants to be at least in the top 10%, and they want to be the number one. But if you're worrying about trying to keep up with other people, there's a lot of people who are really much better than me. There's a lot of people that will always be better than you, but we want to gravitate towards those kind of people, not manipulators, because we do not want to have to worry about our soul. And I'm telling you what, you start doing bad things and hurting people and stuff, taking advantage of people, you're really going to worry. If you're fortunate, you'll start worrying, and then you'll just have this feeling of, man, I wish I should have, couldn't have, wouldn't have done that. But here's the thing, guys. Selling and worry, they kind of go hand in hand because we work on commission. That's the truth. If you don't have any concern about working on commission, that means you ain't thinking strong enough about what you can do. Now, you got to set yourself a little goal. You got to set yourself an attainable goals. You got to do those little things step by step. So what happens is once you reach those little plateaus, those little things, and you get to that point where you can't go any further, don't worry about it. Talk to somebody who's been there and who's done that and who's written all those good checks. Because you got, like I said, management and people, you got to share your feelings. And if you find yourself as a salesperson worrying about, a lot of little things that are out of your control, remember God's in control. And if you don't know, pray, because praying, it helps me a lot. I ain't saying I don't still worry, but I try to I have this little thing, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I'm always asking for help. That's one of the things, if you're feeling insecure or upset, you've got this worry mentality. Get that out. Share those feelings with people that are not going to be like crabs, pull you down. Because there are some people like that will just destroy you and use that against you. But see, if you're worrying about basic things, it's important that you reach out for your mentors to give you some assistance. And I love you, man. I love you. I'm going to give you a little fist bump and tell you, I ain't going to say you shouldn't worry and you never will worry. But see, we need to address worrying. We need to look at worrying. What is causing us to worry? Why are we worrying about failure when we should be worrying about success? Oh, yeah, that's a good thing to worry about. How can I become successful? How can I do a better job on the job? How can I sell more? How can I help more people? How can I get in front of more people? How can I, instead of worry? We can do anything we put our minds to. God didn't give us a mind of this type of negative. He gave us a mind of positive in, positive out. And selling and worrying, they don't go hand in hand, guys. Because, see, worrying will make you just become mediocre. Because there's some people that are afraid, and false evidence appearing real can destroy you. So my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I'm going to let you give me the okay, and I'm going to give you the okay. It's okay not to worry. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to help those people who are worrying. And some people, they'll just beat you to death because they don't care. They'll just worry, and share all that crap, and it'll destroy you. So just be real careful who you share your worrying about. And if somebody offers you some good advice, y'all take it. Listen to them. And you can look on the internet. You can read books. You can do all kinds of things to find out how to overcome stress and worrying. I just gave you some basic information because I've had to deal with these things in my own personal life. And I'm always dealing with things that I have to deal with. Worrying is just a part of life. So how we take care of those worries matters. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. So go out there and sell something. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. And our topic for today is selling and worrying. Let's see if we can stop that. We can't make it perfect, but we can do our best to. So stop worrying as much as you possibly can. Get some help, and I got you back. Boom, boom. Go out there and sell something. Worry, yeah, that sucks. All right.